This treated 2x6 does a very important job. And you'll see I have very poorly scribbled a rough outline of a cut I need to make. And if all this works out, then you'll see it. If not, you probably won't. Come on, that fits so good. I had to hammer it in. It's so tight, doesn't even need screws. But it's gonna get some. Forget about it. The stairs are reinforced. I feel like I owe you an explanation. You see, these stairs are supported by these three very large timbers here. These very large timbers are anchored in on the sides by these floor joists, and at the back by these two boards, which are themselves anchored on the floor joists. So everything really goes back to these floor joists, and there's nothing directly stopping these timbers. Everything is attached in through the side by only nails. And this thing has had, 50 years of people running up and down the stairs, and the nails have all become really loose and wiggly. So I wanted some direct support underneath these two beams, which, as long as they're holding these three stair beams, then we're good. I just need to support these two. So I figured directly coming down to the concrete with like a 4x4 or a 6x6 or even a steel pipe support beam makes the most sense. But I wanted to kind of keep it as out of the way as possible. Well, I've already got this anchor down here where all these studs are along the side, which forms sort of a half wall. It's not super supportive because, again, it's only nailed in from the side. But that down there is anchored into the concrete. So why don't I just connect A to B with a straight line? So now all the force, the downward force on these two boards, from these two boards leaning against them like this, is now being supported back down into this, the same footprint as this board here. It all works, man. This keeps it keeps a little bit more of the floor open, and I think it looks pretty interesting. Plus, I had a 2x6 left over. There you go. This got away from me a little bit, but strong as hell. And I was able to work all my scraps back in. How about that? Here's Lily's completed monument. Here is my hand for scale. Pretty much life size for Lily. She was a little girl. That's it. And at night, this solar light makes a spotlight on the cat. So I'll come back out in the dark and show it to you. Rest in peace, Lils. I'm out late tonight burning my surplus of sticks. Given the number of trees I have out here, I have an abundance of sticks. Sometimes pyro maintenance is required. I don't know if you can see in the distance, past the blinking blue pest light in the garden. See a little golden light? That's Lily's memorial. I'll take you over there and show it to you. Here's a perfect Jack Adairism. The electrician was here today swapping out all the old outlets, and he pulled this one out of the wall, which has been hot glued back together and was in service. And he said in all of his years of doing electric, he has never seen this. Here's something I made today. Try to ignore the junk, but this was 3 separate bookshelves that I glued and screwed together into this one sort of ultra modern looking bookshelf. And then I had some leftover wood today, so I added a wing. Oh, and by the way, this is like permanently framed into the wall. Of course, because I love doing that, I just made it a permanent part of the house. And then I added a wing over here on the side. I matched the curve and wrapped it around the corner with some brackets to a front door shelf. So now it's just like a whole corner station. Here's the new chicken watering system. So I'm inside the chicken coop now. This kitty litter bucket is hanging outside on the edge of the building, right where rainwater will run off onto the lid. And I've installed a little PVC drain cover on the lid, just to keep leaves and sticks out. Fills up the bucket, goes through this hose connector, through a little softened aperture in the wall. I put wood around this hole in the chicken wire and then tied the wood in with paracord, just so that when the wind rocks the bucket around, this jagged edged chicken wire didn't chew through my hose. Comes down through the hose to here, where it branches off into these little nipples, which the chickens have not learned how to use yet, but the water comes out here when they manipulate these. So I'm gonna have to start training them. The hens are nowhere to be found, and my brave shepherd over here sleeping on the job. Just because it's in the 70s today does not mean it's your day off. While the bucket and the, I guess, like plumbing sections of the new chicken waterer are functional, I still need a better method to collect rainwater than just letting it dribble off the edge of the roof. So I'm experimenting with gutter options so I can funnel more of the water toward my bucket. So what I'm doing here is I took a little section of PVC gutter, and this is actually a filter that you can remove from like a faucet filtration system. Let me show you here. So this mesh shroud slides over the plastic part. There's your filter. You can slide that off to wash it out. I'm going to install this as soon as I find a lid or some sort of a gasket that will fit this. This is going to go through the hole and it's going to stand upright just like that, so that I can pull the metal shroud off at any point and hose this thing out and clean it, but it will also keep most of the particulate out of the chicken water. And then underneath this hole will be this section, which will essentially just funnel all that filtered water directly onto the top of my bucket, where that secondary plastic PVC filter, particulate filter, will be. This is obviously much smaller, but I want to be able to see the water in between to know kind of how much is going in before I seal everything up. I'm still learning about the flow rates and things over there. My grandma planted these little yellow flowers 50 years ago from some bulbs that were given to her by her sister-in-law, my grandpa's sister, Leola. And they just took over the yard and spread everywhere. So at some point they started pulling them up. Here's another stripe of them over here that haven't quite come up yet this year. So they pulled them up, and my grandpa filled an entire bucket filled with these yellow flower bulbs, and he didn't want to plant them anywhere else, so he just threw the bucket over the side of the cliff. And sure enough, everywhere one of those little bulbs landed, it took root. And now we have a little yellow waterfall of flowers. Let me try to get to the right angle to show you. Starts here. This was the old food waste and water dump down the side of the cliff, and there's some more there. And then look down there. That's where they all ended up. And coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, these flowers still bloom on Grandma's birthday every year, February 23rd. Happy 90th birthday, Grandma, from all the yellow flowers. It's just the auto shop, but what? That's right, I've been telling you. I've been telling you. Auto shop people door. This is the finished system. So let's test it. Moment of truth. Now this is in no way designed to capture all of the water. It's a self-cleaning and multi-stage filtering process. I only need to get a fractional percentage of a trickle of clean water filling this bucket and keeping this reservoir full for the hens. So I think I need to put a small dam at this end to force more water through my filter. All right. Lessons learned. Let's add like a short 1-inch dam right here. Okay, I cut a strip from a piece of thick linoleum. I'm gonna bend this and fit it in the end here. And my goal is that this fixed piece stays in place, that I don't have to take this down for cleaning, and in general I would like it to be self-cleaning from the rain, which is why I want both sides open. But I can easily pop this filter screen off for cleaning. And so if I bend this and make a little dam at the back, I want to be able to pull it out for cleaning as well. So let me jam it in there really good, and then we'll see if it works. Sometimes in the course of a project, it becomes necessary to dial back one's ambition and just make something that works. So I've used linoleum flooring and silicone glue to dam up this side, which is not ideal. I wanted this to be self-cleaning. Every time it would rain really hard, it would just sort of wash things out both sides. It's still gonna do that to some degree, anything that floats, but I think I am gonna get sediment collecting down here. I'll just have to bring, hold on ladies, I'm talking. I'll just have to bring the water hose out and just hose this thing out once in a while. That's not a big deal. Also, the little mesh particulate filter I was using works great at 50 PSI, doesn't work great at all when it's not under pressure. So I just took it off. This plastic filter right here will keep all the leaves and twigs and sticks out as well as I need it to. I've got this one over here as a backup. I was just, I don't know, trying to make it do too many things unnecessarily. I got excited. So now, oh, hold on. We'll be right back. Here we go. Testing. Yeah, look at that, it works. So now every time it rains, it'll keep the bucket full, which will keep you girls hydrated. All right, that's enough. I got stuff to do. I love you guys. See you later. Check out my beard. Pretty cool, right? I'll see you in like 2 more weeks.